Hi, I'm Brian Luck, Precision Ag and Machinery Systems Specialist in Biological Systems Engineering Department at the University of Wisconsin-Madison.
And I'm Joe Lauer. I'm the corn agronomist at the University of Wisconsin. And today we're going to talk a little bit about timing silage harvest this year in 2023. We're having a drought so far. Who knows what will happen from here on out, but there's a lot of things happening in the field that are a little bit different. We're in the thick of pollination right now. This is kind of the end of July, and the crop has undergone quite a bit of stress so far. And whenever that happens, a lot of the typical corn growth and development that occurs kind of goes out the window in terms of development. Typically, what will happen is after pollination occurs on a kernel, it takes about 42 to 47 days for it to be ready for silage harvest. The first 7 to 10 days after pollination or after fertilization of the kernel ovule is kind of what we call a lag period, and all that occurs is cell division. It then takes about another 30 days for that kernel to grow, and it's kind of a linear phase of development. And then the tail end, the last lag phase, is really kind of a maturation phase, which lasts about 10 days. And usually we harvest corn silage right at the start of the beginning of that last maturity phase in development. So we're seeing a lot of variability right now. Some fields are the crop is already tasseling in half the field. The other half, it's not tasseling at all. And all this is going to cause a lot of issues as we head into the harvest timing. And I think some of that can be handled by just how you set the chopper up and whether you raise or lower the chopper a little bit and watch the stream of material going through the chopper.
Absolutely, Joe. Yeah, so considering machinery considerations for corn silage harvest, you touched right on the first thing I was going to talk about, which is height of cut. So if you have variability within the field, managing that height of cut throughout will maintain a more uniform, maybe a higher quality silage in the end. Some other things to think about as far as precision ag and technology being used. Today we have sensors on the chopper that gives you direct feedback on moisture content and some feed quality topics as well within those. And if you're working with a crop consultant or own a UAV yourself, is being able to fly up with just a visible light camera, or if you're a little more fancy, having a vegetative indices camera and be able to see those variations in the field. If you can go up, get an image a week before you're thinking about harvesting, and understand where that variability is, you can see the different dry down rates potentially, and then being able to plan that in your chopper software, whatever else we can do to be able to manage height of cut and other things through corn silage, just based on that information we collected, is a really slick tool to be able to get out there and gather some information and know what you're getting into.
Yeah, at some point during the year, yield is moot as far as importance, and really to put up good corn silage, it all comes back to moisture. And again, anything you can help yourself with and determine the correct time to cut, and also as you move through the field, when to raise and lower that cutter bar to be able to get at that moisture a little bit, because that's really what's key as we move into harvest.
Finally, I say it every time I talk, but typical machinery considerations and maintenance. Make sure you're ready to go to the field. All the knives are in place, everything's set up, your kernel processor's been adjusted, and make sure you keep an eye on that kernel processor as you're going along too. That's something we can pretty easily adjust, either from the cab, or in some cases, a quick little wrench job in the middle of the field can improve your feed quality quite a bit. One quick reminder, we do have a Silage Snap app here at University of Wisconsin-Madison. It's free for everybody. Not a gold standard necessarily, not a laboratory test, but it will give you a number as far as how your kernel processor is doing while you're harvesting corn silage.
And if I could add just a couple things about moisture. Usually we figure after tasseling it takes 42 to 47 days, but there are a lot of county agents and counties that do silage dry down days as well, and that's another way to kind of get a sense of where you're at in the field. Once you know where you're at, you can use an average dry down rate of about 0.5% per day, and if you feel that that's still off, but the chopper's showing up and things like that, as Brian said, you can raise and lower that that cutter bar. If you lower it, it'll increase the moisture. If you raise it, it'll dry the crop out a little bit. But just to time that harvest a little bit, doing a final dry down right before you start, just to know where you're at, is a good thing to get a handle on as you go into the chopping season.
Last thing quickly, just remember that you can find these videos online and our IPM website. And if you have any further questions, contact your local regional extension educator and they can get in touch with us.